homophobe.
Right.
Yeah. I said, I can't believe this. I did not think I took this job. I stepped down from the third ranking official in the Justice Department, working in the White House to do this job. Now I got this crazy nut telling me he's not being treated right by the marshals and the mafia treat him better. He looked better than that. That's a terrible picture of him. I said, well, Vito, let me talk to them. He said, I only did this because Walter told me if I ever had a problem, I should call him or you, and I couldn't get him. So I said, Vito, Walter was right to do that. I do that with all my, and I didn't say informants. I said all my witnesses, but sometimes I meant informants. And any of us in law enforcement. We have a big group of informants. And it is a certain amount of care and feeding of them that breaks open these big cases. So I realized Walter was away for 2 days, and I had to do something with this guy.
Right.
So I called up the marshal, who turned out to be a new marshal and a great guy, also appointed by the great Ronald Reagan, and a big fan of mine. And I said, Romolo, I got a problem with Vito, and this is the problem. Romolo agreed and said, hey, we're just getting rid of the Democrat shits that we hear. So let me get my own people in from the PD. We know how to treat gays. We don't treat them like shit. It's ridiculous. This guy's a very important witness. He can stop complaining in 3 days, I promise. So you're not going to do anything to him, are you? No, bullshit. Not going to do that. And Romolo turned out to be a great marshal.
Right.
I don't think I could have done it without him, because I must have run 30 massive major league rats. Sorry, boys, did I call you that? Through him.
Right.
And man, he handled them brilliantly. I mean, he handled them like a psychiatrist. It made it easier to turn him. Right. Even when we get to Milken and people like that, he helped me turn.
And then Milken, of course, that's the Wall Street.
Yeah, Romolo J. Mundi was a New York City police detective, but he had like a tremendous charm. He had one of those like Dean Martin Italian personalities. It was very, it's great.
Well, those sorts of things, Mayor, and that's part of the reason I feel you were so successful. You understand people, right? It's beyond just understanding the law, being a good lawyer. It's understanding people and where to place them, where they can be most effective in the larger picture as you cleaned up New York, or in this case, took down the mafia.
When I did my first mafia indictment, I'll give you an example. When I did my first mafia indictment, that led to taking down the entire commission, and it was a lot more than the commission. We took down the commission. We took down their drug organization with the Sicilians. We took down their involvement in the Teamsters Union, took them out, 9-year receivership. We took out their position in Las Vegas, 10-year receivership. We took out their position in the sanitation business, in the food business, in the fashion business. Fashion Week in New York, all those beautiful girls they put on. I mean, the News and the Post kind of compete with each other as to which one gets closer
to the line.
To the line.
New York Fashion Week.
Right? New York Fashion Week. That thing used to be run by the mafia.
Really?
Yeah. Would you like to know what happened to them? Never mind. What happened to those girls?
No, well,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to know. You don't want to know. You have to know that one of the people that helped to save Fashion Week was Donald Trump.
That's right. That's right. He really brought a lot of positive attention.
Whatever you think of the allegations about Donald Trump, whatever you think about, I'm going to tell you something, and you just absorb it, and this is true. Man has great respect for women. Right. So go stuff it. Okay. And I know that. So do I.
You know that, and you're a longtime friend of his. I can back that up. I've seen him.
I don't think I have a friend that does it. I wouldn't have a friend that does it.
Respect women. That's right. We've talked a lot about that. You've made it very clear.
It's critical to being a man.
And your father taught you that.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean being some kind of sissy man.
Right. Of course not.
Of which we're worried that there aren't
Not enough men these days, Mayor. We are just speaking of men. We are just minutes away. We are awaiting Curtis Sliwa to join the program. He's at a rally.
Are people wondering whether Curtis is he?
No. We talked about real men, and that's when we brought Curtis's name into the conversation. He's wrapping up an event in South Brooklyn, and he's on his way to
South Brooklyn is big. Used to be very Italian and Irish, very Catholic. It's now part of it is the Muslim center.
And part of the heavy Chinese population as well. I believe he's leaving a Chinese American event, and then he's off to Staten Island, and so he's going to
that is Staten Island.
Staten Island. That's Giuliani country.
Yeah,
what percent of the vote did you get in Staten Island in 1996 or 1997?
I don't know, even 80%, 75.
1997, I think, is when that election was. Yeah, 80%. You said that 80%.
I actually didn't believe it was 80%. I don't think anybody ever gets 80%.
Yeah. Well, that's what the numbers say. And look, they never cheat for our side, Mayor. So if those are the numbers, those are the numbers. Yeah.
The problem I have is getting them out to vote.
Oh, second time around.
Yeah, they knew I was going to win. You know what I did? I campaigned for 54 hours straight.
Straight?
I finished campaigning and went to vote.
Straight?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, what were you doing on the overnight hours?
On a bus.
Making stops, I guess. Yeah, they do
stops. I stopped off at a motel and showered. I went to church.
Good.
Part of it was Sunday.
You used to ride, was this your first race when you'd ride the back of a truck?
No, my first race was in the back of the truck.
Back of a pickup, right?
Yeah.
I would have loved to be with you on some of those trips. And you just made speeches roving around the city on the back of a truck.
This was my third race. This was the race where my big problem was getting my vote out because I was going to win by 10%, 15%. And I never ran in a race like that before. I lost by one. I won by 2. I didn't know such a thing as a landslide. I didn't trust it.
You didn't trust it.
I was afraid people wouldn't turn out, and I was being told that. I was being told, people know you're going to win, they're not going to vote. I said, oh, Jesus. I mean, there are so many Democrats here who the unions make sure. See, the Democrats, it's almost as if they can just register their vote. Because they bring them out like, not even including the ones they pay. I'm talking about the ones that are in the unions, and they come out and they vote. Going to keep their job. Board of Education, all useless people hurt children. Boom, 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 boom. All the people in the Department of Welfare that make sure that New York City becomes more and more and more dependent. Boom, 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 boom. Then the one that I am extraordinarily embarrassed about, it could be a big problem with us very soon. I'm an absolute failure at getting dead people's votes.
You gotta talk to JFK.
And one election after another,
or LBJ,
I have gotten wiped out by dead people votes. The Democrats get all the dead people. I don't understand it. We're the more religious party. We believe in heaven. Maybe only the people in hell come out to vote. I don't know. But we do not know how to appeal. And you know how they say that Republicans didn't know how to appeal for the black vote?
Yep.
We do a better job with the black vote than the dead vote.
Well,
we don't appeal at all for the dead vote.
That's right.
I've suggested things and they look at me like I'm great. I suggested rallies at the large cemetery. Nope, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't put any money into rallies at the large cemetery.
Here's a little blast from the past. This is Mayor Giuliani. This is 1997.
We don't want any more stuff. That's right. Thank you. Now, the fact is that
in 1993 hated me. 1997 loved me. And do you know that I got 50% of the Hispanic vote when I got re-election?
Work at it very hard. And I expect that people have to perform. And if they're performing, if they are using money in a wise way, if they're using it intelligently, if they're dealing with the problems of children, for example, and not just the rhetoric of change, but the reality of change, the way Rudy Crew is, they're not going to have a stronger supporter than me as the mayor of the city of New York. If they're not performing, just talking about it, and things are, going in the wrong direction, then I've got to do something about it. I have to step up to it, and I have to try to make changes. You only have 4 years as mayor of New York City to make changes. And if you're going to be unwilling to take on some conflict, you're never going to make change. So that's the style that I have. I think it works most of the time. Like anything else a human being does, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But by and large, I think it's turned the city in the right direction.
That was halfway through my mayoralty.
Yeah.
So, the first year or two, I wasn't going to win re-election.
Really? Oh, I mean, they were getting on you. I remember.
Oh, I was at about 30. I think my lowest approval was about 38%. So, I mean, I didn't come in with a 50% approval. I was a Republican.
Right.
I came in with like a 48% approval rating. Okay.
Right.
My first couple of months in office, I probably went up to 51, 52.
Right.
Then I started doing cuts. And then I had to do more cuts because there was a much bigger deficit. The Democrats had lied about the deficit.
Right. Surprise.
But by the end of the year, I probably was at about 30. At the end of the year, 1994, I think I was below 40% approval and unlikely to be reelected.
Right.
95 was like a transition year, and my approval rating went up and down. Everything went up and down. 96. By the end of 96, I was above 50% because all of the economic programs had started to work. Taxes had come down. Unemployment had gone from about 11% to about 7%. Actually went to 5%. We had cut maybe 25% of welfare. Crime. People, by 1996, people finally accepted that crime had gone down. When crime first went down, like by 20%, they didn't believe it because there still would be a murder. So they'd say crime went down 20%, but that person just got murdered on the subway. Well, of course, we're never going to eliminate it. And a lot of my people got very, very, very nervous about how we going to do this, how we going to do this. And I said, just be patient, because the broken windows theory is the thing that will win them over. The thing that will win them over is, as they walk out of their house, for 25 years, they've seen all homeless people around them. Now they're going to walk out of their house, and they're not. The minute they see that, the statistics don't matter. They internalize it. They're safe. When they don't have to go to work every day, when they don't have to go to school every day, when they don't have to go to recreation, the movies, and have to worry about their safety. Right. Now, with all these statistics, the statistics will get them to start thinking about it. But we win when they start. That's what I mean by quality. That's what I mean by quality of life. Broken windows theory. That's why it's so important. Right. And that's what these absolutely inane, anti-American, communist Democrats don't understand. Right.
Well, Mayor, we have Curtis Sliwa just a minute away, coming to us live from, well, you might like this crowd. It looks like an Italian-American crowd in Staten Island.
Why would you think I'd like an Italian-American crowd?
But
because I'm hungry?
Let's take it. Well, we got food on the way. We have Curtis Sliwa on the line. Life is good. Let's take a quick break, pay some of the bills, and we'll be right back.
Okay. U.S. Army Major Scott Smiley paid a high price serving our nation. Scott was leading his platoon in Iraq when a blast sent shrapnel through his eyes, leaving him blind and temporarily paralyzed. Scott would become the first blind active duty military officer before medically retiring years later. Thanks to friends like you, the Tunnels and Towers Foundation gave Scott and his family a mortgage-free, specially adapted smart home. show your support for
Are you ready for some action?
I'm ready for action.
Get the Elite TV plan only through the portal. 218 channels, and it's only $69.95 a month,
Wow.
including your free portal.
That's cheaper than everyone else.
Your favorite sports, movies, news,
Wow.
even daytime dramas. We're talking about ESPN, OAN, Newsmax,
Wow.
channels you can't get anymore in certain areas.
Compared to the competition, this is a way better deal.
Endless selection. Not to mention all the free music channels. There's over 700 premium and classic movies all ready to go.
Wow.
Plus, they got catch-up TV that allows you to go back and watch what you've missed or want to watch again. Cut your cable in half and get twice as much for free.
Way more channels for half the cost.
After the first year, the subscription then drops to $57.95 monthly,
Wow.
where you change or upgrade anytime. Go to QUXNow.com and get yours today. Use promo code RUDY. Act fast. These deals are selling out.
Here we are, pretty much at the beginning of the process here at this pristine, I call it a laboratory. It's not like a factory, it's like a hospital. This is the beginning of the process for roasting. Deep green, very good quality. Most people don't use this quality. We deal with small farmers because we like to know who we're dealing with. They give us the highest quality, all organic, non-GMO. You should know all Arabica beans. No Robusto, all Arabica. They're going to go into the roaster, and it'll get roasted for about
We're
20
getting
minutes or so.
roasted by Rudolph Giuliani.
Oh my goodness, look at the